Welcome back. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another installment of Let's Talk About It. I am your co host, Mr. William Bertice, your man with the money. If you need a home loan, I'm your guy. And next to me, who do I have next to me?
Yes, this is your local real estate broker, the one and only Clinton James, often imitated, never duplicated. If you need a
Hey.
home, you need know anything about real estate, contact me. It's a free consultation.
And you guys know what it is. What's going on? Michael Dunn, CEO of Decade Financial Solutions. We are a financial money management company specializing in what? Credit
That's
restoration.
right.
So if you guys have a bad credit or if your credit score starts with a 4, 5, or a 6, we need to talk.
Let's talk about
That's
it.
right.
Let's talk about it. And you might see an empty seat today because we do have one more person on the way, Mr. Terrell
Yeah,
Simmons.
this
So
guy.
he'll be here soon. He'll
This
be here
guy.
soon. But today's topic, we want to talk about something that is definitely taking the world by storm over the last week, and that's been the tragic death of Kobe Bryant,
Oh,
his daughter, and 7 other people that were on the helicopter.
Yeah.
And whenever we think of moments like this, these moments kind of resonate within us for the rest of our lives. We always are going to say, I remember when I heard, and you're always going to remember where you were at. I remember getting the phone call from my wife saying, did you hear what happened to Kobe?
yeah,
Right.
Just like I remember the day Whitney Houston died, I remember what I was
yeah,
doing.
Right.
I definitely remember the day Michael Jackson died. I remember exactly what I was doing.
yeah,
Right.
This moment was one of those moments we'll never forget. If you've lived in when Martin Luther King was alive, I'm sure you remember the day he died, just like JFK. And I'm not saying Kobe is like the president of the United States, JFK, or even like Martin Luther King, but we did get a chance to grow up with him. He came into
yeah,
the NBA at
Right.
17. He was 41 when he died. He spent 20 years in the NBA, and he was someone that had an impact in your life, whether you rooted for the Lakers or rooted against the Lakers,
yeah.
right?
Right.
So today we're going to just talk about Kobe Bryant, what his death means, what his life meant, and how he impacted our lives. So, what's your guys
Oh
thinking
man.
about Kobe Bryant's
So
tragedy?
it's funny because in my community we have a way of kind of breaking this down. We say what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now, right? So when I think about what it was like growing up with Kobe, the crazy part about it for me was first and foremost when I heard that he died, I immediately thought it was fake news. Like
Yeah,
I was just
Right.
me
like,
too.
I
Me
was just
too.
like this is ridiculous. Like this
Yeah,
isn't. And the person that I was next to, he was like, "Yo, like, bro, like my heart is racing right now. Like, and I'm seeing this show up in my feed on my Insta all over the place. I think this is real." And I think what really impacted me the most is I didn't realize how much Kobe meant to me, as a human being. So what it was like was, when I first got introduced to Kobe Bryant, here's this really cocky, arrogant young kid,
hmm
straight out of high school, which you guys know in the NBA at that point in time, the NBA was really kind of getting a lot of slack about whether or not they were going to continue to allow players to enter into the NBA straight out of high school. So anybody who was good enough or talented enough to do it, uh, got a lot of notoriety. I mean, you had Kevin Garnett,
Garnett. Yeah.
yeah, then you had Kobe, and then obviously, down the road we had LeBron James. But um, the I remember thinking like, man, like this kid really has something special. But I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan, right?
Right.
So here's a kid who seems like he's potentially got the kind of the intangibles of that, and cause to me felt like I felt like he might potentially threaten that legacy or that love that I had for Mike, that tenacity that I had always associated with Mike. And so, fast forward 5, 10, 15 years into his career, what happened was is that Kobe began to resonate with me on such a deeper level than what basketball represented.
yeah,
Right.
And I think that was something that I didn't really realize was happening, but you always associate it with what like Mamba mentality, that tenacious, always willing to shoot the rock no matter what circumstances,
Right.
killer instinct, you know, And when I look at my own life and I compare like the principles that I see Kobe exuding, like it really shows all of us as human beings, I think, what can happen when you take incredible talent, which I believe every human being is talented, and you combine that with impeccable work ethic.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah. And for me, what the thing about is when how I heard about Kobe and his death. I remember coming home from my church because I actually volunteer at my church early in the morning because I get there at 6, and I get out like around 9, 10ish. Got home, and had I had an appointment. I ran to that appointment, got done with that, and came home. And I remember my wife was telling me about this documentary with Aaron Rodgers, In the Mind of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
So I had some time, so I was like, okay, well, let me lay back and watch because I watched the first episode, and then I said, look, it got me. And because with anything on Netflix, I watch the first episode. If it's not resonating with me, I'm like, I don't even watch the rest of it. But I decided, okay, I laid back on the bed and I started watching the rest of it. I watched the last 2 episodes, and it was a kind of a bummer. And I'm like, wow, this is what sports happens in sports too, you know. And so I remember going downstairs and to get some to do some work in the computer at my office, and turn on my computer, and then I saw the pop ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter crash. So I'm like, okay, this, and then because it was TMZ, I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
not a big. I was like, TMZ's reporting this. Okay, this is not. It might not be believable.
Yeah.
So I was like, I kind of ignored it, and then I went into my computer, and I saw another pop up on the newsreel this time,
Yeah.
and I was like, no, this can't be for real. So I started looking at it on my phone. I started googling my on my computer, and I saw it. The thing that got me the most being a father was that
Yes.
when I heard that it was him and his daughter, and I was
Yeah.
like, whoa! It's like the air just went out. Like I was like, man, that's crazy. And then my wife, she didn't even know about it, so I called her and I was like, "Hey, did you know that Kobe Bryant died?" And she was like, "No." And then she's like, "You know, his daughter died with him too." And she was like, "Whoa," because we were kind of like shocked. Now, the thing that I can say for me is that I would never forget what I'm doing because Kobe made such an impact when he came into the NBA. Because remember, Kobe came into the NBA when there was no internet, no YouTube,
Yeah.
no
Yeah, right.
Instagram, so there was no like highlight reels. You know, so when he came into the NBA, you knew that he was something special because he's coming right out of high school. So he had no background in Kobe. You know,
Yeah.
you can go see and say where the wow, like LeBron, we saw a lot of highlight reels of LeBron, so we know he was going to be something special coming in. But Kobe, it was like, wow, this kid younger than me, like he's my age going into the NBA. Never heard about that. And then Kevin Garnett, and um, and then on top of that, he came in when, to me, I believe he came in when it was the golden years in the NBA. I believe
Oh,
that.
this guy.
90s,
This
yeah.
guy.
Yeah, the golden years in the
Right.
NBA. No, I would say that. That was that, and then on top of that, I'm a Laker fan. I'll profess that day in day out. I'm a true Laker fan, but at the same time too, I used to have a love-hate relationship with Michael Jordan. You know, because Michael Jordan and the Bulls was just like they dominated, you know, and to see Magic go down like that,
Yeah.
you know, it was like, no, man, we got. And then when Kobe came to the Lakers, because I know he got recruited with Philadelphia first,
Yeah.
and then the Lakers got him. I know it's going to be something special with the Lakers.
Yeah.
You know, because that's when Michael Jordan was on his way out. So I was like anticipating this kid is just going to do amazing things, and he delivered.
Yeah, he did.
He delivered, you know. And the thing about it is that it's not that a lot of the Michael Jordan traits he took and studied Michael Jordan and how he moved and how his work ethic, and that's what I appreciated about him. It's like when I looked at Kobe and the Mamba mentality, he is kind of like he woke up at 4 in the morning every day. And the reason to practice, he treated it like a job. The reason why he even flew in a helicopter is because he said that he wanted to spend more time with his kids.
Yeah.
And
Right.
and flying from driving from commuting from Calabasas to Staples, he used to end up in traffic, so he used to miss a lot of his kids' um, practices, and
Yeah.
he wanted to be there to pick them up as a father and
Mhm.
be part of their lives. So for me, I was like, man,
And he tried to do that without compromising the time he had to put into his job.
right,
Yeah.
as a
without
basketball
compromising
player.
that, because he wanted to build. He saw it as a craft, And the thing about it that I know that I want to take away is that mentality. It's like the work ethic mentality, which is to give it 110%, no matter what. And then on top of that, still have integrity. I mean, there's nobody's perfect, but at the end of the day, I like the fact that he didn't sacrifice the time that he had. He found a way to be a father, be a great basketball player, and on top of that, just be a great human being.
Right.
So
Yeah. I know we're gonna take a break soon, but I after we come back from the break, there's something that I want to share about something that about legacy that I think is probably it's gonna rub some people the wrong way, but I don't care because it's the truth.
Okay.
And so it's
That's that mama mentality.
yeah, yeah, seriously, like seriously, because it was funny. Like my girl asked me, she's like, being a black man, like how do you feel like this affected you, And I was thinking when she first said it, I was like, they like that sounds kind of like racist for you to say that. And she's like, no, like that's not what I mean. She's like, because I always associated Kobe with just being a human thing, but the reality of it is that like Kobe is a black man, and
right.
and there is a little bit of a deeper like something that resonates with us when as black people. I think when we see other black people like living at this like pinnacle of excellence, and and there's some of that I really want to talk about, but I'm gonna save it till we come back from the
Okay.
show.
All
well,
right.
Let's take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more about the life and legacy of Kobe Bryant.
Mark your calendars and save the date for Jacobs Presents Second Service in honor of Black History Month on Sunday, February 16th from 1 to 4 p.m. Second Service will honor game changers in music and more. There will be food, live music, and performances by Eddie Balltrip in Fulfillment, Men for Christ, Lyric, Celine Jurgen, and more. Don't miss it. This is a free event, but you must RSVP at Eventbrite. Second service will be held at the Jacobs Center in Celebration Hall, 404 Euclid Avenue in San Diego, California. To secure your seat at the table for second service, you must RSVP at Eventbrite. Don't miss it. Second service, a celebration in honor of Black History Month on Sunday, February 16th from 1 to 4 p.m. Hope to see you there.
Hello, I'm Dr. Gwen Matthews, and I want to invite you to the Prophetic Boot Camp. Yes, a prophetic boot camp. Come if you're ready to learn the prophetic in ways that you've never imagined. The Prophetic Boot Camp will be on February the 28th at 6:30 p.m. and the 29th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Bethel Baptist Church. And you'll be able to walk away with a booklet teaching you about the prophetic. Do you want to know about prophetic song, prophetic bannering, prophetic dancing, prophetic drama? Do you want to know if you are called as a prophet or just called to prophesy? If you want to learn more about your gift, perfecting it so that the body of Christ can be edified, you come to the Prophetic Boot Camp. Again, that's February 28th at 6:30 p.m. and the 29th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Bethel Baptist Church, where Dr. Ringgold is the pastor. I'm looking forward to you prophetic people coming out to understand your gift and your calling. Come to the Prophetic Boot Camp. Prophesy to these dry bones.
The San Diego Voice and Viewpoint newspaper is San Diego's oldest and largest African American publication. We bring you news for and about our community. Your stories matter to us. Thank you for allowing us to serve you for nearly 6 decades. Your support enables us to continue to forge ahead, informing you with news tailored to your needs. In addition to subscribing to our weekly publication, consider using Voice and Viewpoint to promote your business and events. Call us at 619-266-2233 or send an email to ads@sdvoice.info for details on how to get started. If you have advertising needs, contact us. Our prices are both fair and reasonable. Follow us on Facebook at www.sdvoice.info www.facebook.com/Voice and Viewpoint or visit our website at www.sdvoice.info. Remember, a people without a voice cannot be heard.
Welcome back to Let's Talk About It. I am your co-host, Mr. William Bertice, and next to me we have Mr.
Yes, I'm also your co-host, Clinton James. I'm your local real estate broker here in San Diego.
And what's going on, guys? Mike the Money Guy, a.k.a. Michael Dunn, CEO of Decade Financial Solutions.
And we've been talking about the life and legacy of Kobe Bryant. And before we went off air, Michael Dunn, he said he has something to say about legacy. And it might be a little controversial, but he don't care because he's going for the mama mentality.
Yeah, I'm going for the mama mentality on this one. So I'm going to tell you guys a quick little situation that happened. And then if you guys want to chime in your thoughts on it, of course, I would love to hear from you. But so I was on Facebook. This is like maybe 1 day, 2 day post, Kobe. And one of the people in the post said like, hey, what about the other 7 individuals, right? That were everyone's just talking Kobe, Kobe, Kobe. Everyone's talking Gigi. And like one of the like patrons who's in the feed responds back to that person and says, well, while it is tragic that those other 7 folks died, like, what did they do to deserve all the notoriety that Kobe's getting? Like what did they do with their life to deserve all of this like attention that Kobe's getting? And the guy who's putting this post out, he's saying like, I don't think it's right that we're kind of ignoring the other 7 people.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And this is what I wanted to say, and this is the part that's like really kind of controversial in a lot of ways. Bro, that is life. Like that is life. Like that is like what Kobe Bryant has done or what he did is the essence of like what legacy is all about. Like it's about the sacrifice of today to be immortalized tomorrow. Like it is about doing something on such a astronomically high scale, as hard as you can push it, to be of impact to as many lives as you possibly can.
Right.
And the more that you do that, the greater impact subsequently you will have on society, so that when you die, you will be remembered beyond your death. And so for somebody to get upset or be feeling slighted because 7 other individuals who did not do what Kobe did with his life are not being celebrated, so to speak, as much Kobe is, like, in my opinion, don't be mediocre then. Don't be mediocre. Like that's why when you wake up every day, you should be putting in 150,000% into what you do, whether it's cutting grass, whether it's fixing credit, whether it's doing real estate, whether it's playing basketball, whatever it is. Like put 150% into what you're doing, because you need to think about, if I am not here tomorrow and I'm taken as suddenly as Kobe was taken from us, what is my life? Like, what have I done with my life?
Right.
And I don't think that people spend enough time thinking about that.
Well, one of the men who passed away, John Tabelli, I might have his name incorrect.
Yeah.
But he was on the helicopter along with his wife and his daughter.
Yeah.
He was a baseball coach at Orange County Coast.
Yeah.
And they had a ceremony for him and representing him and his wife and his daughter, and his 2 other kids were there. And they were all talking about the impact he had in their life. And I'm glad that he got a chance to be recognized and represented. The husband of one of the coaches who died on there, Mauser, he went on a couple talk shows talking about, I want to talk about the legacy of my wife. And I believe all those people did the right thing, because they wanted to highlight the greatness these people were to be around someone like Kobe Bryant, who doesn't accept video. I mean, he did not get along with Shaq because Shaq wasn't going hard enough. Shaq, one of the most dominant, great players of all time.
Yeah.
And Kobe was like, "You ain't putting the work in.
Right.
I'll shoot your shot."
Yeah.
Look, matter of fact, I think Shaq had even talked about that.
Wait, hold on. Who is this? Who is this? Who just came up? Whose voice was that?
Yeah, you know,
Whose voice was that?
You know,
Who is it? Is that God?
hey, you
Is
know,
that God?
That's
you know, I
Kobe
just,
right
Kobe, but snuck through the back door. Thank you for chiming in. But as to allude to your point with Shaq, man, Shaq went on to say, like, you know, Kobe would be the first to say that, you know, we could have won 10 more if you would have, like, dieted more, took your exercise regimen more serious. We could have had 10. And he even infamously said that, you know, Kobe would have got on me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I got to agree with you to a point, you know,
Yeah.
because at the same time too, it's kind of like we got to respect the fact that these people passed away suddenly, and I want to say I've set my sympathies to anybody, family members, anybody out there, but at the same time too, what we got to remember is that a rising tide raises all boats, you know. So
Yeah.
we wouldn't have never known, because people die in plane crashes, accidents every day. You know, we
Yeah.
don't know. You know, except the immediate people around them. Now, why I say that is because we were able to now see the people that Kobe surrounds himself with. We're now able to know these people who actually passed away in this tragic accident, and they got international media attention. So it's not just Kobe. Kobe was, I mean, yes, we all know who Kobe is because he's an international superstar. Let's not get it. He's one of the only NBA players to score 81 points in a game.
It still blows my
Right.
mind. I actually watched that game.
Right.
That game was unbelievable.
And he actually told his teammates before he went on, he's like, you know what? Just pass me the ball because I ain't going to pass you all. I'm going to score all the points. And you know what he did? In his last game as an NBA player, he scored 60 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Right? So when you look at that, yes, he's an amazing athlete. I mean, amazing athlete. And yes, he is getting the type of respect, and he's got adoration that he deserves as somebody who put in the work and he's seen the results, and he lived by his work ethic. So, but at the same time, not to take away from those other people who passed away, I don't think Kobe would be around people who are mediocre. You know, that's kind of like, I would say, yeah, people. I mean, it's not in his. It's just like with Shaq. I mean, I believe he surrounded himself with people, because you're talking about an NBA player who came out of the NBA, got into a different industry, and dominated and won a Grammy. I'm not a Grammy, but a Oscar.
Yeah.
You know, so his work ethic. He was just starting his second phase of life with that Mamba mentality. So I don't think people around him would have been like, okay, well, you know, like been that type of person who he would. I don't think people would be able to keep up with him. Even his daughter.
Yeah, you don't think
You
that he
know?
would even be associated in the same
Right.
in the same plane?
I mean, it's kind of like Michael Jordan too. Michael Jordan surrounds himself with people who can take his company and his brand to the next level. That's why I see he's still the top paid athlete in the world.
Yeah.
Even after retiring for how long? Over
He's been retired for 18 years.
17 years.
2003.
So it's kind of like that mentality transfers into your life after basketball, after you become that athlete. And I believe that those people around him, they would. Kobe was attracted to them just the same way they were attracted.
But this is the thing, though.
to Kobe.
Kobe led a public life.
Right.
I mean, I first heard about Kobe Bryant is when he took Brandy to prom.
Yeah, I
Right.
forgot
That's
about
the
that.
very first time I heard
Right.
of Kobe Bryant. I was like, everybody knew Brandy. She had the show Moesha. She already had hit songs.
Yeah.
Right.
So she was
up there.
She was up there.
Right.
And it was like, who's this basketball player taking her to prom? And that's when I first heard of Kobe. I was like, okay, he must have something special because,
Yeah.
you know, and then at the same time, I was like, okay, this guy believes in himself. He knows what he's about to do
Yeah.
in his career. So he decided to lead a public life. And so that's the thing. Because he led such a public life, becoming a basketball player, letting us into his regiment, letting us into. He's even done a few documentaries telling people about who he is. His death has left a void
Right.
or a hole out there. So, and that's why people are so affected. It's like his death has meant that there's something that he was providing to the world. That's something we all liked or
Yeah.
disliked or
Right.
needed.
And I think the thing that thing was, 'cause I just did a talk at Mesa. Shout out Mesa College today, and I included Kobe in the discussion of the Emoja group, and we talked about that thing. That thing was excellence, right?
Yeah.
And when you talk about excellence, no matter what you do, it can transcend across anything that you do. Excellence in how we attack this radio show and give valuable content to the audience. Excellence in how Kobe approached basketball. I remember him saying something to the Alabama team. He's like, I sometimes watch film for 4 hours or an hour game for 4 hours to look at everything. And how do I get excellent at that? He's like, my whole mentality was like, if you was guarding me and
Yeah.
you sizing me up, my main goal was just to annihilate you. And I wanted to make you reconsider your life choices of playing basketball.
Yeah.
Right.
That was my goal because I was determined to be the best.
Mhm.
I wanted to be excellent.
My guy was obsessed, and I love
Yeah,
it.
he was.
I love
He was.
that. I love people who are obsessed about
Yeah.
what they
And
do.
I think one of the greatest gifts in life is knowing what you want to do earlier in your life.
Yeah.
And then understanding the talent that you have in that. I think that's one of the if you could figure out, or if you're a kid listening and you know what you want to do for the rest of your life and you know what you're great at, I think that's one of the biggest blessings in the world. And Kobe knew from Jump Street.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to do.
Right.
His dad played in the NBA, and believe it or not, he played right here in San Diego for the San Diego Clippers for a couple.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. Kobe lived in San Diego for when he was a little kid
Yeah.
for a couple years. His dad was drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah.
He played there for about 3 or
Didn't
4
know that.
years.
Didn't know that.
Went to
That's
San Diego Clippers, and then he went to Italy and played over there for a amount of years.
wow.
And so Kobe had basketball DNA in him. And one thing I didn't know was Kobe Bryant's mom had a brother that played in the NBA too.
Oh, really?
I just found that out by reading some of the information about Kobe. So it was all around him. And
Yeah.
so he knew what he wanted to do earlier on in life. And I think that's a great blessing. If you know what you want to do early in life, that's awesome. And another thing is his daughter, who tragically was with him in the helicopter who passed away, she started to figure out what does she want to do
Yeah,
early
what-
in life
Right.
and follow the footsteps. And one thing I do want to say is I've been a huge Laker fan since Magic Johnson.
yeah.
And that transition from Magic to Shaq to I liked Eddie Jones. Eddie Jones was my guy. And then when they traded Eddie Jones,
I
back
like
Glenn
Eddie
Rice,
Jones too.
That
Yeah,
was
he
my
was
dude.
dope.
Nick Van Exel.
Nick the Quick, but
Kareem.
Fisher was alright.
Yeah.
He couldn't make a layup, but he could hit a clutch shot when
Right.
he wanted to. Kobe Bryant had a significant impact on my life because he brought some of the best times of my life watching him play basketball. And I would go out there after watching the game and try to emulate the things he did. That I'm thinking of that pass to Shaq in the Portland
Yeah.
series in 2000 in Game 7. They were down 15 in the fourth quarter, came back, threw the lob up, Shaq dunked it. I don't think I jumped so high in my life. You know, those games where he scored 62 in 3 quarters, I think that's his best game, not his 81 game.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he was on his way to 90 that game.
Yeah, he just
Right.
stopped. Yeah.
And tell you, another thing is, he sat out the whole fourth quarter.
Yeah.
He outscored the other team by himself at the end of three
Yeah.
quarters. They asked him, Kobe, you want to get back in the game so you get 70? You know what he said? Nah, I could get it another time.
Yeah.
And people said, Kobe's such a selfish, arrogant player.
Right.
But when you put that time and work into it,
And you know you have
And you
confidence
know-
in your ability too.
I don't
you know?
necessarily consider Kobe to be like selfish and arrogant. I consider him to be more
sure of
prepared.
himself.
Prepared. You know, like, and I think that's the that's the part that resonates with me so much about him is like, it's like, dude, when you go into a situation and you commit that you're gonna sacrifice everything
Right.
to like, how can you really fail? Like, how can you really fail?
And his life after basketball was the opposite of being selfish.
Yeah,
It was giving not only to his daughter but to other kids and other NBA players, even other athletes.
but bro, like this is the thing. Like, when you really get to the core of what Kobe Bryant is doing, like
Mhm.
on the surface, it looks selfish. Like, here's a guy who seems like he's chasing accolades, he's chasing, notoriety, whatever. But in reality, that's not what he's doing. What he's doing is he's trying to inspire every single one of us to say that, yes, you are capable of doing whatever it is you set your mind to
Mhm.
if you are willing to put the work ethic
right.
in it. So I'm willing to take on you calling me arrogant. I'm willing to take on you calling me selfish. I'm willing to take on you being upset about what I'm doing, because at the end of the day, what's the narrative now? Now that he's gone, what is the real core fundamental of his legacy?
Mhm.
Is that he inspired all of us.
Right.
So it's like you can look at all kinds of great men and women in the Bible and in life. This is what they do. Like, they walk and live this truth to the point of such conviction that people have a problem with it. But what it really is like, what's this? How's the saying going? Sometimes your great spirit just bothers some people's demons. Like, like straight up, like straight up, and that's what it is. Like, it's that. That's what's bothering
true,
you. You know, like, so when he says, "Yeah, I'll get it another day," it's not that he's being arrogant. No, it's because I am so true to this.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I'm so focused on this. Like, that on the outside it looks like obsession, but what it really is it's the essence of focus.
Right.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
I
Exactly.
think people forget that Kobe came off the bench the first 2 years.
Yeah.
He
Right.
wasn't the starting player,
Right.
and he talks about this with Nick Saban in one of the videos. If
Yeah,
you look
he was
at ESPN,
real mad about it too.
yeah, and he's like, his family would come up to him and say, I don't know what they doing. They should be starting you, and he'd be like, shut up, because like you feed me the wrong information. What I need to do is I need to figure out why I'm not a starter, why I'm
Yeah.
coming off the bench. So I need to be the most efficient, most productive player where they ain't got no reason not to play me, because
right.
I'm doing everything on both sides of the ball, and that's what he did. That's that attention to detail,
Yeah,
that moment of time, that focus, everything we
Yeah,
talk
and
about.
when we talk about focus, one of the things that kind of like calibrated how I thought about Kobe as being a selfish player is, you remember when he played that game with Matt Barnes, who was
And he
yeah,
fake
Matt Barnes
passed.
fake
Yeah.
passed him, and he didn't even blink. And everybody looked at that to slow it down, slow motion, and look at that. But you know what? Kobe actually recruited Matt Barnes based upon that very same play, because Matt Barnes said, Kobe told him, if you're crazy enough to take me on the basketball court,
Yeah.
you need to play with me.
I'm glad
Yeah.
you cleaned that up. We're gonna do is we're gonna take a real quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna continue to talk about the life and legacy of Kobe Bean Bryant.
I like that.
Kobe Bean.
Ernest Everett Just was born on August 14, 1883, in Charleston, South Carolina. Just was an African-American biologist and educator who pioneered many areas on the physiology of development, including fertilization, experimental parthenogenesis, hydration, cell division, dehydration in living cells, and ultraviolet carcinogenic radiation effect on cells. Just was known as an intelligent and inquisitive student. He studied at Kimball University Academy in New Hampshire before enrolling at Dartmouth College. During his university years, Just discovered an interest in biology after reading a paper on fertilization and egg development. This young man earned the highest grade in Greek during his freshman year and was selected as the Rufus Choate Scholar for 2 years. He graduated the sole magna cum laude student in 1907, also receiving honors in botany, sociology, and history. Just's legacy of accomplishments followed him long after his death on October 27, 1941. This moment in Black history is brought to you by Dr. Maurice Agnes of Higher Learning Academy in Spring Valley, California.
Mark your calendars and save the date for Jacobs Presents Second Service in honor of Black History Month on Sunday, February 16th from 1 to 4 p.m. Second Service will honor game changers in music and more. There will be food, live music, and performances by Eddie Paul Tripp in Fulfillment, Men for Christ, Lyric, Salim Jurgen, and more. Don't miss it. This is a free event, but you must RSVP at Eventbrite. Second service will be held at the Jacobs Center in Celebration Hall, 404 Euclid Avenue in San Diego, California. To secure your seat at the table for second service, you must RSVP at Eventbrite. Don't miss it. Second service, a celebration in honor of Black History Month on Sunday, February 16th from 1 to 4 p.m. Hope to see you there.
Yes, you need a revocable living trust and other estate planning documents. Sometimes the most important questions when it comes to protecting your home and family assets are the questions you don't ask. The time is now to make decisions that protect your family in the unfortunate event of your death or incapacity. Don't let the probate process cause your family to lose your hard-earned assets and home. The Law Office of Antoinette Middleton is there to help with basic and sophisticated estate planning strategies, which includes special needs trusts for children and disabled adults, asset protection and succession planning for business owners, wills, revocable living trusts, and irrevocable trusts, which protects assets and avoids Medi-Cal estate recovery after your death. The motto at the Law Office of Antoinette Middleton is to plan while you can. Call the Law Office of Antoinette Middleton at 619-235-9501 or email the office at info@lawofficesofam.com. Avoid being stuck with harsh and arbitrary court decisions after your death or disability. Plan today.
Welcome back to Let's Talk About It. I'm your co-host, Mr. William Bertice, and we are talking about the life and legacy of Kobe Bryant. And while we were on a commercial break, we were talking to a great man. And what this great man was explaining to us is Kobe Bryant went through kind of a rush patch in the middle of his career. He was, I'm not convicted, but what's the word I want to use? He was indicted on rape charges. And I remember the next day he went on that podium with his wife, admitting to what he did, denying the charges. But I remember thinking, like, man, they have a tight bond for her to sit there with him at this. She must be a special person, because first when people started talking about her, Vanessa Lane was her name, now Vanessa Bryant, people were kind of talking about, oh, who's this young lady trying to
take Kobe's money and take advantage of him.
And Kobe didn't sign a prenup.
Yeah.
He didn't sign a prenup.
They've been together since high school, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was in high school, and they met on a music video shoot. And the fact that Kobe went through that issue with his wife and still maintained his family. Being in the NBA, you get all types of what's the word I want to use? Attention, offers,
temptations.
To you. And if you're a married man or just a man been in a relationship, you've made some mistakes.
Yeah.
And they may have been the same type of mistake, but you've messed up somehow. So when you think about Kobe Bryant and what happened, after those charges and who he became afterwards, which was even a better basketball player, and even seemed like a great family man, a great husband and wife. What are you guys' thoughts about that?
It's interesting, right? So they one time my psychologist told me that statistically speaking, whether you're a man or woman, 75% of the time you cheat because not because of like lack of love for your partner, but actually because of opportunity presenting itself.
Okay.
Is the number one reason why married folks or people in relationships cheat. Not necessarily don't love them, but it's just that they are seizing an opportunity. So when we talk about opportunity, I don't think I think we can all agree that nobody had more opportunity than a celebrity star athlete like Kobe Bryant, right?
Yeah.
So I remember when I heard the news, coupled with, the other charges that were coming with that, and I remember thinking like, and then I'm gonna be real, like being a black man, I was like, this is I don't know if my man can recover from this seriously. And you know, it's just a testament to anyone who's been in that type of situation. You look at like a guy like Michael Vick as well, you know, who's also dealing with charges similar to like that were that egregious.
Right.
And and what you do in those moments, what you do, I think, when you make a mistake, post mistake, like what you decide to do with your life or what you decide to do in those moments, I think is like it truly is a testament to your character.
Right.
And I, you know, and I really commend him as the man. For
Yeah, and
doing
I
that.
mean that's what really resonated with me. How he was able to keep his family intact. He made that extreme importance, and how he bounced back from that situation,
Right.
and how he really evolved as a man. I mean, a lot of people. Well, I'm gonna let you guys in on a secret. I technically wasn't a Kobe fan.
Really,
I was a Kobe hater throughout
Ah.
most of his career.
Hate means respect, so we take
Oh,
it
yeah,
that
all
way.
right. Oh, you can
Yeah,
take it
go
however
ahead.
you want it. I mean, I used to, and my best friend was a Laker fan, so we used to go at it all the time. I was like, he ain't no Michael. He ain't no
Oh,
Michael.
man.
He'll never be Michael.
yeah,
He just a Michael wannabe. And so, like, I was a Kobe hater. But I came to be a fan of Kobe through the second act to see what he had become as a man, how he was
Yeah.
a family man, how he was maneuvering and handling his business. And I thought his second act was going to, we had to talk, his
Yeah.
second act was going to be his best act.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think he was really on his way not only to being like what society needs to see in a black man
yeah,
Right.
as a great father figure, and to mock Charlamagne the God, black men don't cheat, and he became a black man.
yeah,
The boy cheated. He became a man.
yeah.
There you go.
There
There
you go. There you go.
There you go.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So for me, being a Kobe fan, being a Laker fan, I did not believe it. You know, because I was like, wait a minute, like, because you match up the fact, because when you heard the Chargers first, you know, it's like, why? You know, why would a basketball NBA player want to commit such a crime? You know, at the same time, too, I'm not putting it above any.
Yeah, anybody, yeah,
anybody,
exactly.
you know. So, but at the same time, a kid. I mean, Kobe came in as a kid, and he came in from the jump, being that man. Because I mean, he went on his date with Brandy. You know,
Right.
with he went on his first date at prom. Right, he took Brandy to prom. So I'm like, okay, well, this is not this. So let me. I waited for the facts, but in all, I'd say what I took away from this was how, because I didn't know Vanessa, his wife. I didn't know her because she was not too much in the limelight or in the spotlight. But it took me, it made me take a look at and put a microscope on his family and saw how strong she was.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right?
Right? Because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, this is where everybody got to know her, and they got to know her because of that situation.
Right.
Yeah, they dug into her life and everything, because the whole thing about her taking his money and all that stuff came up because of that situation.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, it was like, okay, well, is she gonna stay? Is she gonna go? But then she stuck by him because I didn't use conference. I looked at the body language and I saw how she was like, just she had his back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, that's who my heart goes out to is because I know right now she's the one going through the most in the whole family, because she lost not only her husband, but I'm sure she lost and a daughter, but she lost her best friend too, and the only person, her only husband for the past 12, 20
Yeah,
years.
she'd been married to him
Right.
longer than she had been alive.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you
So-
know,
or for most of her life, not longer, but most of her life, she had been married
Right.
to him.
there's
Right.
something else that's really powerful about that. First and foremost, let's just give it up for Vanessa Bryant just for a quick
Yeah.
second, you know what I'm saying? Because she's, I mean, it's hard being a wife, but then being a wife of a man of that magnitude,
Right.
like, I mean, I tip my hat to her. But you know, something that my girl said the other day that really, man, when she said it, it hit me like a ton of bricks. It's like, man, she found herself crying as well, just like I had the day I found out, and she said, you know, not only is Vanessa losing like her daughter, but her husband, but she's also losing the only other human being that loves those kids just as much as she does.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, and I didn't really think about it like that. being, of course I thought about him being a father, and I even heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, but in the wreckage they actually found like his body like wrapped around hers, Gigi's, trying to protect her.
Didn't
I
know
think.
that.
Yeah,
That's
I heard about that, and it was painful to hear. But man, like I can't even imagine, bro. Like losing the person that I did life with, who I know for a fact loves our children just as much as I do. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro,
that's a tough one.
that
Yeah.
hurts.
That's
Yeah.
a tough
That
thing to
hurts.
deal with.
Yeah.
And she's made a few Instagram posts just to, and I think when she makes those posts, that not only helps her, but that helps people realize, okay, she's active. She's,
I know, and
Right.
it's just so soon.
yeah, she's not so.
It's so
She's not a
soon.
hermit.
Yeah.
She's
Right.
showing that, okay, I have to be strong in the face of this.
Right.
And and not just Vanessa Bryant, but a lot of women who have lost their husbands, especially who are out there in the limelight. A lot of times it raises them to show that this great man married a great woman.
Yeah.
And usually this great woman not necessarily fills his shoes, but she continues to represent that person's legacy.
Yeah.
Like if you think of Coretta Scott King,
Yeah.
what she continued to do to fight for justice when Martin Luther King passed.
Right.
Betty Shabazz. Who else am I thinking? Even to a certain extent, Lauren London with
Yeah.
with Nipsey Hussle, although they
Right.
weren't
Yeah.
married. Their death shows that they were able to attach themselves to people who thought of greatness as well, and their greatness was to help support this person to become
And enhance it as well.
yeah,
Right.
enhance it. Because one time I heard this brother say, whoever you marry, the outside of choosing God, the most important decision is who you decide to marry.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm not sure if we talk about that enough in our lives. Is okay.
Yeah.
I chose to have God in my life. I've chosen this career. I'm good at this, but also at the same time, who I marry,
That's so
because
important.
whoever you marry can help uplift you or
Right.
bring you down.
Yeah.
When
You know.
when you look at Kobe's life, bro, you start to see some real major principalities that really resonate as a Christian man, as a human being. Like finding out what you want to do early in life, right? As soon as you can answer that question, answer it,
Right.
right? Having the impeccable work ethic, right? The Mamba mentality, right? Surrounding yourself with the right people, and always being, I think always being willing to excommunicate the people that don't push you to be better,
Mhm.
you
Right.
know. And then, like you're saying, and then the most important person that you choose is that one person within your inner circle that you're deciding to spend the rest of your life with, right?
Yeah.
Like that, like those are traits that no matter where you live, no matter what spirituality you subscribe to, like that transcends like any human being,
Right.
like doing those things. And I think that it's it's just a testament to the man, dude. Like
Yeah.
the guy's man,
Yeah, and just to see how like Vanessa, going back to her, how she was able to kind of like create, even though, because she could end up in Basketball Wives and still have a career after if she decided to leave Kobe,
Mhm.
But for me, it kind of made me understand her tenacity, her strength, and staying behind him and making sure that she creates a family unit and still protects her family. Because she didn't come out and make a statement or anything. She didn't come out in the limelight. She still stayed behind him. But at the same time, too, it just your heart goes out to her and the rest of his 3 daughters.
yeah,
Because now it's kind of like a male figure is gone from their lives. Not only a father, but they don't have a male figure anymore. So at the same time, too, I mean, I know Kobe's dad is going to step in, most likely going to step in, and I know she most likely have like uncles and parents and stuff. But
it's
at the
nothing like your dad.
It's nothing like
Yeah.
your dad. It's nothing
Yeah.
like having a father and that male figure around. So I mean, I would just say, you know what, just keep her in the family in prayer. Raise them up. At the same time, too, just remember that Kobe's legacy is not only just basketball. His legacy was based upon him. For me, I just loved seeing him after basketball teaching his daughter the traits of basketball. Spending time with his family, taking her to the games.
Right.
And seeing how involved he was in that. it shows a different side of him that
Yeah.
everybody thought,
Absolutely.
he
And she
never had.
wasn't just he
Yeah.
wasn't just teaching her basketball. He was teaching her excellence.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What it meant to be excellent.
Right.
When you choose to really give your all attention to detail and focus into something
Exactly.
that you don't have half it at all. You have that extreme focus.
Right.
And what resonates with me is in the year that we started off talking about 2020 vision, how crystal clear Kobe was with his intentionality and his
Yeah.
vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said it in a speech that I saw one time. He was like, "Listen, you starting off this year, it's good to do a reevaluation of what's in your life,
Yeah.
Right.
and in your pursuit of excellence, whatever that is. If it doesn't serve you as being excellent, get rid of it,
Yeah.
Right.
Remove it.
That's
remove
right.
it. If it ain't serving towards your excellence, remove it."
That's
And
true.
so that stuck with me, and I was like, "All right, this year, Kobe, this hit me at the right time."
Yeah.
That's right.
You
That's
know,
right.
it was sad, but it was also a testimony to say,
Yes.
hey, if it's not serving you to be excellent, get rid of it.
That's
Yeah.
right. It's kind of talking about excellence. Kind of like just like remembering what Kobe, how his schedule every day was: wake up at 4 o'clock, go to the gym, come back in time to pick up his kids, go out and then go back to the gym again, and then come back in the evening. No, come back in time to drop his kids to school, then come back in time, go to the gym again, come back in time to pick them up. And
Yeah.
do the after school activities. Now, somebody I remember a story of a guy. He was saying that he used to wake up every day like 4 o'clock in the morning, and his kids always his kids never used to see him do that. So he always used to think that people always used to think, well, your kid's not seeing him wake up, but they might not appreciate it. So one time another guy asked him, so I mean, why are you waking up so early in the morning? I mean, it's kind of like you don't really need to get to work till like 2 hours later. So
Yeah.
he was like, well, I just want one day my kids might witness excellence.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, it's crazy when I think about my dad.
You know?
My dad is a man of like few words when it comes to the way that he raised my brother and I. Like, my dad really didn't. He didn't really deal with a lot of the day-to-day minutia. Like he was there,
Right.
like he just his whole thing was just like, I'm just gonna model man behavior
Mm-hmm.
to my children. Like, this is how you are. This is how you should conduct yourself. And now, well, when I was getting older and I was getting into a lot of ruckus, he's always remind me, he's like, son, like, where did you learn that? Like, where did you learn that from? Like, where did you learn that? Because you didn't learn that in here. You
Yeah.
know, like you didn't learn that in this house. You know, like you've never seen anything like that here. You know, in this
Yeah.
house. And I think a lot of times we as people, we always get caught up like having to feel like we need to like impart something on to like our kids and nephews and nieces and
Right,
as
exactly.
opposed to just modeling it.
Yeah.
You know.
I once heard Dick Gregory, the late great Dick Gregory, said, if you don't have a role model in your house, you need to drop down on your knees and pray that God sends you one. I'm paraphrasing, but I mean, I heard that comment. I was like, wow, because our first role models in life should be our parents.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Should be someone close to us. And in a lot of ways, Kobe was a role model to a lot of people.
Yeah, he was.
And whether or not basketball players or athletes or people who have made their lives public or role models to people who are watching, regardless of what Charles Barkley said, I'm not a role model.
Mhm.
Role model. You are. And, as great as Kobe is, and he's a great person to be a role model, to have as a role model,
Yeah.
your first role model really should be in the household.
Mhm.
Right.
And if it's not, then you need to get down on your knees, pray to God, like, God, please help bring the right person to my life that can help guide me to make the right direction.
Yes.
And this is also why it's so important to have a relationship with Christ and God and accept Jesus in your life, because when you read the Word, read the Bible, you understand the direction God wants to take you. And if you have questions, okay, how do I, go about doing this? You can read it in your Word, and then you also pray, okay, God, I hope I have someone in the household that can help me to have a better understanding of this, or have someone at my church or someone I'm close to that can help me get a better understanding of this
Yeah.
as well. So having that role model in your life is
Oh, yeah.
so key and so important.
And I mean, I think this should be a wake up call for everybody too, because if who do you think Gigi's role model was in life?
Yeah.
And her
Right.
dad, yeah.
It was her dad.
Big, yeah.
And if he lived a little bit longer, the rest of them kids, their dad and mom, they would have been a role model. And I think this should serve as a testament as just us in the community in general, Black community, Pan-African, whatever you subscribe to. We need to do a better job at being role models
Yes.
in our household and in our families.
Right.
These kids shouldn't be looking up to rappers and athletes to be a role model when you should be the role model in your own house.
Mhm.
What are you doing to build legacy and excellence in your own house?
Ooh.
Nobody should be looking outside of the home for a role model.
That's right.
Yeah.
When did we go away from that in the family structure? Support your own first. Build your legacy first. Then your kids look up to you as, I want to be like my dad when I grow up.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
to be like my mom when I
Yeah,
grow up.
Right.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love
You
that.
wanna say something?
Yeah, I mean, and I got to second that. I mean, when I look at Kobe and I see how so many NBA players who grew up without a father were heartbroken by the fact that when Kobe died, and you can see that they looked up to Kobe as their role model because they didn't have that in their family, you know. And one of the things that's the legacy for me is it's like waking up every day, because right now for me, I look at it and say life is short. Life is, you don't know the moment, you don't know when, and you don't know how.
Yeah.
But all you know is that if you get an opportunity to wake up this morning, make it count. Make it count every day.
Say that one more
You
time.
know, make that hour count, make that minute count. Do something that will actually advance your life. And there's a ton of things out there. Like I mean, it doesn't matter. Like you don't need to have all the money in the world or know all the people. Like if you want to be a basketball player, get on the court. You know, show up. You know, be there, be present, and it's also Kobe showed us also being a father. I mean, he died being a father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
And
So-
that's one thing I could relate to Kobe, you know, with my son being in the hospital. My wife and I are there practically 24/7.
Yeah.
And he's been in the hospital for almost 4 months. And we do that because as a parent, you realize one of the best gifts God has ever given you is that child.
Mm-hmm.
And your job as that parent is to help nurture and take care of the child as best as possible. And everything else is
Secondary.
Right.
That is primary. And so I think what Kobe represents and what I'm hoping that what you were saying, what a lot of parents need to represent is that as you being my child, you are my number one priority to make sure that in life, when you grow up and be on your own, you can continue doing great things.
Exactly.
And it doesn't have to be a great athlete or a great singer or anything famous, but someone that people look to as someone, no, that's a leader.
Yeah.
That's a great person. And one thing I do want to say is that, you know, we have been reading your comments on Facebook, and we did get a comment from Tanya who did talk about, you know, losing a child herself, and basically was just reiterating with Vanessa that this is one of the toughest things she'll ever have to deal with, and that you really need to depend on God at this moment. And so we're just, you know, pray for not only Vanessa, but her kids, Kobe's family, the other families that were lost, that you keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And even for anyone else that lose their lives tragically, you know, we're thinking of you as well. So before we sign off, I'm William Bertiz. You know, I'm the man with your money. So if you're looking for a home loan, give me a call. And next to me,
Hey, I'm Clinton James, your local real estate broker, and here in San Diego, living the Mamba mentality.
Michael Dunn, CEO Decade Financial at Decade Solutions, and at Mike the Money Guy on Instagram.
Terrell Simmons, your career guru, getting you into a job and career that you love. TARYELLS at Instagram, Twitter, you know the accounts.
and like Kobe, we're ending the show on the clutch.
Mamba out.
Kobe.